anything more desirous than a whole book about Tyrus? Just Tyrus, a memoir by Tyrus about Tyrus, is out in stores tomorrow. I'm more excited than he is. I asked him out to dinner to talk about it with me, but he said no. So we're going to talk about it here instead. I think it would have been better if we went to dinner. But you know what? People need to hear about this book.
Yeah, and it's not really dinner. You just drink a lot of wine, and you just keep checking on your car.
Yes, I do.
That's pretty much it. Should I go? Should I stay 10 minutes? Is he going to be mad at me? I don't want this guy mad at me. So,
This is so true and sad.
Yeah, that's in chapter 20.
All right, the back of your book has two blurbs.
Yes.
And they are Dana Perino and Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
I don't think any book will ever come close to having that kind of range.
No, and it was funny because I had a list of blurb candidates.
Yes.
I had you on there, I had Walter Kern, and Dana Snoop Guy. I asked them first, figuring I would get I'd love to, but I don't have time, I'm busy. And they both said yeah. So then I asked, how many blurbs can I have? And the publisher was just, wait a minute, you have who? Snoop and Dana? You're like, yeah, right. And then they sent him in and they were like, oh, no more, this is good. So I assumed it was diverse and deep.
Well, what's surprising, it's a great book. I'm telling you, you sit down and you read it. I said this to you after I read it. I felt like I spent 2 days with you. It's very rare when someone writes a book in which it actually expresses who the person is so closely, it's like that person's talking to you. But I learned a lot about Snoop. It's like, the fact that like Snoop comes off surprisingly even-keeled, businesslike, sharp, but sometimes late.
Always late.
Yeah.
I used to trick him.
Yeah.
Me and Kevin Barker used to, if the show was at 1, we'd tell him it was at 11, and we'd get there at 12.
Yes.
And then he'd be mad at us because he had to wait a few minutes. But we would always trick him, especially with flights and stuff. Always had to trick him.
Did he fire you once?
He did fire me once. We were in Amsterdam, and I took my first break in a coffee shop.
Yes.
And me and Kevin, its manager, like we were like BFFs, and we decided to try out the local festivities. Mm-hmm. And then it just so happens that they came in during our break, and I might have made fun of him a little bit. Yeah. And so he got mad and fired me. But he doesn't fire you himself. He has someone else come over and fire you. So when I got back to the hotel room, I was like packing up my stuff or whatever, and he texted me and he said, hey, can you get me some fried chicken and orange soda and some fruit and stuff? And I was like, no, you fired me. He's like, what are you talking about? And I opened the door. I was like, you fired me like 2 hours ago. I was like, what are you talking about? Can you just get my food? I was like, okay. Like, all right, bro. But the other bodyguard was like happy I got fired. He's like, Tom, you got to go. And then he was standing there. I was like, guess he forgot, dog.
Did you ever write anything, or did you ever publish anything like an article or anything before doing this book?
No.
That's amazing.
I do not do op-eds. I do not blog or blurb or whatever it is. No, I always said if I was going to write it. Actually, Susan Scott, when she first interviewed me, for working with you, she said that she thought I had 3 books in me, and it was like random. And I was like, yeah, I don't even write my own material, boss. So, but okay, sure, yeah, 3 books, I got you. So a lot of it had to come with osmosis, being around Kat and you. You've got like 47 bestsellers, and I've read probably about half of them. And just being around that environment and being around a bunch of writers, you kind of think like, hey, you know what? I want to try this. Mm-hmm. And so I did, and it was a tough process. I got dropped from one publisher, said my book had no direction because they made me have a ghostwriter. Never did any work, not even a little bit. Like for like 6 months, he's like, I don't really like to give my work away. It's my process.
Oh my!
I was like, can I just get a chapter, dog? I'm sending all this stuff to you. He sent me back transcripts from our show. I was like, this is not my work. And he was like, oh, sure it is. I'm like, it's not. And then come to find out, he never did any work. He took my money and run. So
I'll find out.
But I got lucky. Post Hill and Jacob and Chris Epting, they gave me a shot, and and then now it's going really well.
What do you hope to convey in this book? I mean, your childhood is a rough one, and I mean, what do you hope that when people for a kid reading this that might have been your age, like you reading this as a 17-year-old or whatever, what would you hope?
It's not about what's going on now; it's what's coming. Mm-hmm. And it's all about your reaction. One of the things that stood out that you had said to me, and that's why I actually knew you read the book, when you said my grandmother's advice to me, where it's not what's happening to you, it's your reaction. Yeah. What's happening to you is how you're judged by. And that I've always carried. You're gonna get hit in the mouth, and everyone on this table has got a story. I'm not special. Every one of us has got something. It's different. And it comes in different forms, but it's when you're on the ground. If you stay wallowing in what's just happened to you, you'll stay there. And we've seen that. We have friends. Everyone has family members who something traumatic happens to them and they never get past it. And I just had this innate ability to keep going. And what's next? I mean, all the jobs I've been fired from. It's a lot of firings in this book.
Yeah, almost as many as I've been fired.
But there's something about when it's over, and that you don't dwell on it. It's okay. What am I going to do next? And it's just this innate thing of accountability, believing in yourself, betting on yourself. There's no one's going to come. There's no silver hand coming, going, "Hey, you just got fired from the WWE, but here comes Fox News."
Yeah.
Like how that happened.
Yeah.
But that's really what it's about. It's taking your own destiny.
One last question. Now, you talk about your family. Do you think they're going to read your book? Are you going to send them books?
No. But you know what? I'm nice. I think I'm very nice. I'm very respectful. I don't really diss anybody. I diss myself. I think one thing writing this book, there's a lot of things where I'll say, well, this is where my part of the story ends.
Yes.
And I say things like, and this is the locker room, and if you didn't earn the right to be there, the rest of the story is none of your business. I think that's important. I don't think writing books should be about blaming and telling on people. That's their stories, and they can tell it when they're ready.
That is a good point. Remember that, Kat, when your book comes up. You do not betray me.
Too late.
Go to Amazon and get his book. Now, it's almost midnight. I want to wake up in the morning and see that his book is #1 on Amazon, okay? It's not that hard to do. We got 2 million people watching this show right now. 2.5 million. You can go on, order his book tomorrow morning. If he's #1, I'm buying everybody here a Maserati.
That's so you. I don't fit in those. And Kat doesn't drive.
Yeah, well, Maserati is
congratulations, Buck. But wait, Buck hates the Beatles. He doesn't get a car.
I don't get anything.
And he doesn't need one because he knows the 3 shareholders.
All right.
I've already got an electric scooter, Tyrus. So there.
You got stolen.
You
Up next, I remember that story.
Yeah.
Will Harry and Meghan's marriage survive? Not according to 45.